Welcome to Simultaneous Interpretation. I'm presenting this comprehensive course that will introduce you to one of the most cognitively demanding and intellectually fascinating professions in the world. This isn't just about learning to translate between languages, it's about developing extraordinary mental capacities that push the boundaries of human cognitive ability. Let me walk you through our journey. We will begin with an introduction to simultaneous interpretation, establishing what this remarkable skill involves and why it matters in our globalized world. So, course outline, Introduction to Simultaneous Interpretation, Chapter 1, Foundations of Simultaneous Interpretation, Cognitive Skills Development, Technical and Professional Skills, Designing a Literary Research Project, Chapter 2, Learning Outcomes and Contemporary Milestones, Translation Competencies Developed, Chapter 3, Training Methodologies, Learner Centered and Task-Based Instruction. Uh, then cognitive training tools, use of authentic materials. Chapter 4, challenges and solutions in simultaneous interpretation, common obstacles, strategies for overcoming challenges. Chapter 5, the impact of simultaneous interpretation, training, conclusion, preparing students for professional excellence. Now let's move to learning objectives, and they are develop focus, the intention, contextualize comprehension, and ability to replicate speech patterns with minimal delay. Then masters simultaneous processing of listening comprehension, translation, and speech production while maintaining memory retention. Then acquire domain-specific vocabulary across fields such as law, medicine, technology, and international relations. Then understand cultural contexts, communication styles, and appropriate adaptation strategies for diverse audiences. Then let's go to the introduction. The learning outcomes. Executive shadowing exercises with minimal delay, accurately replacing and replicating speaker pace, intonation, and content across various speeches types and delivery speed. Then develop strategies to manage milk, fright, tongue-tied movements, and psychological pressures associated with real-time representation performance, successfully interpret increasingly complex technical text ranging from 2 to 15 minutes, maintaining accuracy and comprehension as differently escalates, strategically employ timing variations to balance accuracy and fluency, knowing when to maintain closer synchronization or allow greater processing lag, demonstrate command of specialized vocabulary across multiple professional domains, including legal, medical, technical, and diplomatic contexts. Now let's move to the introduction to simultaneous interpretation. Simultaneous interpretation represents one of the most remarkable feats of human cognitive ability, the capacity to listen, comprehend, translate, and speak in different language almost instantaneously. This specialized form of oral translation requires interpreters to process incoming speech in one language while simultaneously producing equivalent meaning in another, maintaining only a few seconds of delay, known as a voice lag. The air voice lag, typically 2 to 4 seconds, is a buffer that makes simultaneous interpretation possible. You cannot translate instantly with zero delay because Your brain needs time to process meaning and formulate translation, but the delay must be minimal to keep pace with the speaker and produce and provide real-time interpretation. So the practice gained global uh, prominence at the historic 1945 numbering trials where it was first employed on a large scale to facilitate multilingual proceedings. This washered moment demonstrated the power of simultaneous interpretation to enable rapid, efficient communication across language barriers in critical international contexts. Today, it has become indispensable in numerous professional domains including international diplomacy, multi national business negotiations, global healthcare consultations, legal proceedings involve multilingual parts and academic conferences spanning diverse linguistic communities. So, the significance of simultaneous interpretation extends far beyond mere word-for-word translation. Interpreters serve as cultural mediators, ensuring not only linguistic accuracy but also appropriate cultural context, tone, and nuance. In our increasingly interconnected world, these professionals enable crucial dialogues that shape international relations, facilitate cross-border commerce, ensure access to justice, and advance global knowledge sharing. Now let's go to talk about real-time translation. Interpreters listen and speak almost simultaneously. Historic milestone. First major use. Uh, Nuremberg trials, 1945. Global essentials critical for international communication. So let's start with chapter 1. But before that, we have to say that think about what doesn't happen without interpretation. International agreements can't be negotiated. Global companies can't do businesses. Refugees cannot access legal protections. Patients cannot receive medical care. Scientific knowledge can't be shared across linguistic boundaries. And simultaneous interpretation has become infrastructure for global communication, invisible when working well, but essential for international cooperation. Then, uh, these are 3 points capture the essence of simultaneous interpretation, what it is real-time translation when it becomes professionally viable. Nuremberg 1945 and why it matters essential for global communication. Now let's move to chapter 1, foundations of simultaneous interpretation. So, mastering simultaneous interpretation requires building a solid foundation across multiple dimensions of linguistic, cognitive, and professional competence. This chapter introduces the foundational and fundamental pillars upon which all successful interpretation practice rests. Understanding these foundations is essential before progressing to advanced techniques and specialized applications. These extraordinary cognitive abilities must be systematically developed through specialized training. Now let's go to talk about linguistic excellence. Deep mastery of source and target language, including grammar, vocabulary, idioms, and cultural nuances that shape meaning, cognitive capabilities, development of mental process, including active listening, memory retention or retention, multitasking, and rapid information processing. These extraordinary cognitive abilities must be systematically developed through specialized training. Um, then technical proficiency, familiarity with interpreting equipment, both procedures and technological tools that support professional practice. Professional standards, understanding of ethical principles, confidentiality requirements, impartiality expectations, and industry best practices. Interpretation isn't just a technical skill, it's a professional with ethical responsibilities and standards. Now let's go to core linguistic competencies introduction. Linguistic competence forms the bedrock of successful simultaneous interpretation. Interpreters must possess not merely conversational fluency, but rather advanced, nuanced command of both source and target languages. This goes far beyond basic vocabulary to encompass deep grammatical understanding, uh, recognition of subtle linguistic patterns, and the mastery of language at the highest registers of professional and academic discourse. Advanced vocabulary and grammar. Acquisition involves building extensive lexical repertoires across multiple domains and registers. Interpreters must recognize and appropriately render formal, informal, technical, colloquial, and specialized language varieties. Grammar mastery extends beyond avoiding error as to understanding how grammatical structures shape meaning and how target language structures can effectively convey sources, language concepts, even when direct parallels do not exist. Language structure ideas differently. Some use world order to indicate relationships, others use inflection. Some make certain distinctions explicit that others leave implicit. Some concepts that require multiple words in one language have single words in another. Now let's go to advanced vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, syntactic mastery. Extensive lexical knowledge in both source and target languages, spanning multiple gestures and domains of discourse. Idiomatic expressions, understanding and appropriately rendering figurative language, cultural references, and expressions that do not translate literally, syntactic mastery, command of sentences structures, and the ability to restructure complex grammatical patterns for clarity and accuracy. Sentences can be extraordinarily complex. Multiple embedded clauses, passive constructions, abstract normalizations, interrupted structures, language differ in what syntactic complexity they typically use and tolerate. Now let's move to talking about handling idiomatic expressions. Handling idiomatic expressions present particular challenges as these often lack direct equivalence across languages. Skilled interpreters must grasp the underlying meaning and the cultural significance of idioms, then find appropriate functional equivalents that convey the same intent and emotional resonance in the target language. This requires not just linguistic knowledge, but also cultural literacy and creative problem solving abilities. Cognitive skills development. Simultaneous interpretation demands extraordinary cognitive capabilities that go far beyond the typical language use. The cognitive demands of this profession have made it subjective of significant interest in neuroscience and cognitive psychology research. Interpreters must develop and refine several interconnected mental processes that work and connect to enable real-time translation. These cognitive skills can be trained and strengthened through deliberate practice and specialized exercises designed to push the boundaries of human information processing capacity. So let me emphasize, these aren't innate talents you either have or don't have. They are trainable capacities that can be systematically developed. Research showing measurable improvement in these cognitive capacities through specialized training. Now let's go to active listening. Focused attention that filters distractions, extract meaning from context, identifies key information, and anticipates speaker direction. Active listening and interpretation goes beyond passive hearing to engage analytical and predictive cognitive processes, memory systems, short-term and working memory that retains information during the air voice lag while simultaneously manipulating and translating content. Interpreters must hold source language input while producing target language output. Your memory in holding the current sentence you're translating while your ears are already hearing the next sentence. This creates enormous memory demands. Now let's move to the four core cognitive skills, talking about multitasking capacity, the remarkable ability to comprehend incoming speech while simultaneously producing translated output, managing two complex linguistic processes in parallel without significant interference between them. Cognitive flexibility, rapid adaptation to change in topic, speaker style, accent variations, and expected content shifts, the ability to which mental frameworks quickly without losing accuracy or fluency in interpretation. So cognitive flexibility prevents you from getting stuck if your mental model of what the speech is about turns out to be wrong. You must rapidly adjust without losing track of ongoing speech. This adaptability is trainable through exposure to varied, unpredictable materials. Now let's move to technical skills and professional skills. Beyond linguistic and cognitive abilities, professional interpreters must master the technical and procedural aspects of their work environment. A modern simultaneous interpretation relies on sophisticated equipment that enables interpreters to hear speakers clearly while isolating their own voice output. Understanding this technology and developing the ability to work effectively within technical constraints is essential for professional success. You might be the most linguistically gifted and cognitively capable person, but if you can't operate the equipment or if you freeze under the pressure of working in a professional both environment, you can't function as a professional interpreter. Now let's move to equipment mastery and technical troubleshooting. Comprehensive familiarity with interpreting consoles, microphones, systems, headset configurations, and both controls, understanding audio channels, volume management, and rely in and relay interpretation settings, technical troubleshooting, ability to identify and resolve common technical issues during live interpretation sessions, including audio quality problems, equipment malfunctions, and connection disruption. uh, solve problems happen. Microphone fails, connections drop, audio quality deteriorates, background noise interferes. When technical issues occur during the live interpretation, you must quickly assess and address them while continuing to interpret or signaling need for pause. Now let's go to air voice lag management and professional ethics. Optimal timing control to maintain appropriate delay between listening and speaking, typically 2 to 4 seconds, balancing comprehensive completeness with real-time delivery requirements. Professional ethics, strict adherence to confidentiality, maintaining impartiality and neutrality, accurate representation of all speakers, and upholding the professional's ethical standards in all circumstances. Interpreters occupy positions of extraordinary trust. You hear sensitive information across legal, medical, business, and diplomatic contexts. Now let's move to professional conduct. Extends beyond technical proficiency to encompass ethical responsibility. Interpreters occupy positions of trust, often privy to sensitive information across legal, medical, business, and diplomatic contexts, maintaining confidentiality in paramount as is avoiding conflicts of interest and presenting all speakers' messages accurately without personal bias or alliteration. These ethical principles form the foundations of professional credibility and public trust in interpretation services. Without trust, interpretation as a professional cannot function. Every ethical breach by any interpreter damages trust in the entire profession. So we'll stop here and we will continue inshallah next session tomorrow. Until tomorrow, tata for now.